So basically, in the last video, we discussed the hazard, risk, and the risk assessment process. So today, our topic will focus on the different categories that we categorize the risk into to make our understanding more clear, and it helps us to make our prioritization process more effective. So today, we will discuss inherent risk, acceptable risk, unacceptable risk, residual risk, tolerable risk, and the term as low as reasonably practicable, generally called alarm. Now let's first look at the inherent risk. But before that, we just revise what we understood about the risk itself. So basically, in the last video, we understood that risk is not something physical, rather it is an emerging property of the hazard, and that describes its characteristics like likelihood and consequences. So if someone wants to eliminate the risk completely 100%, so that is not possible. Rather, what we do, we just control the behavior of the hazard, or just what we do, we limit its capacity to harm us some way, its consequences. So now let's look into the inherent risk. What is it? So let's define it first. It is a natural or inherent risk associated with the particular activity or situation exists before any controls or mitigations are implemented. So basically, the inherent risk is a risk that generates just because of the very existence of the process. As we start the process, it generates or it comes into existence because of the uh, activity. So it is basically inherent, or you can say that it is a natural risk of the activity. So let's look into the key accounts of this. So basically, as the inherent risk just comes into existence just because of the very existence of the activity itself, so we cannot eliminate it completely. And also, the loss or the death or injury or whatever the consequences it may cause to us are the natural or inherent ability or capacity of the activity. So basically, all the activities or processes have their natural risks, which vary activity to activity in the sense of severity, but they all have, and that is called inherent risk. So let's understand it with example. So we know that firefighting is an activity, and in this activity, the firefighter uh, is at the risk of losing his life or getting severely injured, just because of the nature of the activity. He has to go inside the burning buildings. He may expose to the very dangerous phenomena like flashovers, backdraft, which are very dangerous. And the inherent or natural risk of the activity is very high. So this is called inherent risk. To control this, we have to implement very extensive control measures. Even then, the risk is very high. But on the other hand, just we have another activity like cleaning activity, which also has its own inherent risk, which may affect the health of the worker, like his backbone, discs, or his muscles. But with even just simple procedural controls, we can control them effectively. So you see, these risks are inherent that come naturally with the existence of the activity, but their levels are different as for each of the activity.